Welcome back to the Inner Sanctum YouTube channel, and we're here with another episode of Trendz. And I thought it was fitting, with the mid-season draft around the corner, to take a look at my top 10 of mid-season draftees since we had that first mid-season draft a few years ago now. It seems like a lifetime ago since Josh DeLuca came over to my Blues. So let's have a look at how some of them have got on over the years and the success rate of them. Let's run the intro and get straight into it.
But I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
So if you are new around here and you find yourself enjoying our content here on Inner Sanctum, we are independent journalists that follow the great sports here in Australia and around the globe. So flick us a like and a subscribe. You can change your mind later and enjoy some of the wonderful content we have from a host of different people. So let's get straight into it. And we're going to start off with probably one of the more familiar ones, the number one pick in 2022's mid-season draft. And that is Mr. Jed Cuthbert. Played the 9 games, one as a sub, one as an unused sub, playing pinch hitting in the midfield, but more across that half forward and in the forward line. And as you can see, his numbers for his position, 0.4 tackles inside 50. That's AFL average. The score involvement's average. Just a little bit below the pressure acts and inside 50s, but that's more of a systematical problem at the moment with the Eagles. Currently got that knee knock, but he is averaging this year a goal a game. And he's been really impressive. Jai is... he's one of them players that I think at 20 years old that has got that real excitement about him. Came over from the Stingrays, as we know, and was heavily sought after. And he's one of them players that I think really sticks out for me when I look at different players. Let's have a look at who we've got in number 9, and we've gone with Jed McEntee. And a lot of these people here will probably be like, they've never heard of him. It was kind of weird when I was looking at these, looking at the guys, but pick 13 in the 2021 draft at Port Power. As you can see, he's been quite a staple. 17 games, 1 as a sub, 2 as an unused sub. And whether it's in the midfield, whether it's down the back, but when he was at Sturt, he really did show his forward craft and that pressure. And as you can see, he's really fit into the system. And when you're looking at the mid-season draft, what are you looking for? If you're looking for an AA-type player, you should know that your limitations are really low. But if you're looking for a serious squad role player, Jed fits the bill. Above average in tackles inside 50, a little bit below average in the score involvements, but across the board from that, for a player playing in his role in the AFL, he is AFL average. And this is a huge dub. If you have got a pick in the teens in the mid-season draft, your level of expectation, this is like nailing pick 1, I think, with what Jed's output's been. A really solid, a good, honest footballer, and one that, for me, has been quite impressive. In at 8, we've gone Patrick Parnell. Patrick Parnell, it feels like he's been around for ages, but he's still a baby, 21. He's been around since that mid-season draft in 2021. And when you look at it, he was pick 4. Jacob Edwards, famously, Jai Newcomb and Ash Johnson were taken. But when you look at it, it's probably one of the pick of the bunch. There's probably only one player I can see who was taken after him that you could make an argument that maybe he potentially could be better, but even they're not playing. They nailed this pick, they have to say. And Patrick's gone on about his work nice and quietly. Playing for Adelaide, he's fit in. As you can see, he's only had the 14 games, but he's played 7 games this year already and really slot in. Quite occasionally, he's playing that kind of that role as that medium defender, trying to take on the smalls. Was really impressive as well in the Murray Bus Rangers NAB League. Was probably unlucky not to get picked up in his original draft year, but 78% disposal efficiency, very good. Average kicking efficiency, average tackles. The score involvement and stuff, like we say, is playing that more defensive role, but a really solid player and a player that you can see is really benefiting from training daily with Rankine and Mr. Rochelle, and he's a real solid competitor, really good with the ball at the floor as well. He's not scared to spoil and go up against the bigger guys. A really good acquisition from Adelaide Crows. Then we have the second chance player, one of the only one to feature in the top 10, Ryan Gardner. Now, we know, obviously, originally he was drafted pick 59 in the 4th round for the Cats, but he got his second chance at pick 6 in the 2019 draft. And the tall defender has really gone on leaps and bounds, playing the 46 games. 2 of them he was incidentally subbed off. And you look at it in this draft, there was some very good, in the first year, there were some very good players. And we look at it, Josh DeLuca when pick 1, as we said. But let's be honest, everyone failed in that first top 5. It was pick 6 where it started to go. And like you say, he's been solid and he's got his runs on the board for the Doggies, 71.4%, very good one-on-one ratio. Bit below the average in the marks, but he's more of that lockdown defender, 1.7 score launches and decent kicking efficiency as well. He's really fit the bill for them, and he's been probably a godsend at times when they've had the injuries. Bit behind the 8 ball now with Mr. Liam Jones coming into the fray, but he's a very solid competitor, and it's a proof that even though he's been restricted to the 3 games this year, he's ranked 2nd in the league for 1%ers. He does them incidentals, and this is, again, the credit to the mid-season draft. In at 6, we've got Will Snelling. And Will Snelling's a really interesting one, isn't he? He's gone in the 2019 mid-season draft. Remember, again, rookie draft pick. He wasn't in the main draft for Port Adelaide in 2015. But pick 7, playing very good football for them. He's just one of these players, isn't he, that just keeps putting in and putting out. And one of them players that I think is probably really undervalued around the AFL world. He's got his opportunity this year as well. Tackles inside 50, top 20. And as you can see, very good for tackles inside 50. Bit below the score involvement. Average inside 50s, pressure acts. This guy brings the pressure, and Brad Scott loves these type of players. And he's been one of them performers, even when Essendon weren't going so well, and there was all that furore a couple of years ago. He always standed out, but phenomenal output for a guy taken where he was. 54 games, as we say, and that is phenomenal effort. 1 game as a sub, and 1 game he was subbed off in that lot, and it's very impressive output. Another bomber at pick 5. In our 10 is Sam Durham, and again, they've done pretty well. They've done pretty well this year in that game just gone round 10. He was sensational as well. The 2 goals. I thought it was stiff that he wasn't mentioned in this. Taken at pick 9 in the 2021, 36 games. And last year, he had a really good year. He was top 5 in just about every eligibility category for the Rising Star. Elite kicking efficiency, very good score involvements, very good marks, average goals. This guy can play. And again, 36 from where you've picked him up, pick 9. They have absolutely nailed it in this one. Sam Durham is definitely one that's going to be a staple of Essendon for a while. Not yet. Getting into the really upper echelon now. And Ash Johnson, another South Australian, another Sturt boy. And he was taken pick 3 in the 2021 draft. This year, ranking top 20 for contested marks a game. Marks on lead average, score involvements average, inside 50s average, shots. Playing at high half forward, this guy's a gem for the 17 games they've got. And he's an absolute real live wire. One of my favourite players to watch outside of my own football club. It's been a tremendous acquisition and really got a good lease of life from Fly's side. And he stands out, doesn't he? He stands out. He's a hungry competitor. My team hate playing him. Very good footballer. One of the flag winners in here, Malice Pickett, 67 games. And this one here is a real success story, isn't it? This guy has played just about every position known to man in the AFL system. He's got a great backstory of redemption and getting back into the system. And he's been really a staple, hasn't he? In and out of the side, but he's always there for Richmond. 31 years old now. And you look here, he's a hard player to judge analytically because he roams around so much. Probably found his home more on the width, on the wing at Richmond, but 3.6 inside 50s. Just a little bit below average in the marks and the score involvements, but the meters gained is good. Hungry competitor, works hard up and down the ground, puts his hand up to go in the ruck. He's got a canny sense with the ball at his feet. That grand final year as well, he was supreme. A real success story for the mid-season draft and one that I'd imagine they all subscribe to. 79 games from Johnny Noble. It was tough not to have this guy number one. I think that obviously you've got to go against, it's probably the talent, but top 14 in the AFL this year for meters gained. Top 16 for rebound 50s. He's an absolute gem. Very good with the ball as well. Effective disposals. That's the main number. Kicking efficiency. That's kind of across the board with fly side. And he is against some players that get some real cozy positions. Collingwood are hard to judge in that kicking efficiency in the back half because they play a very hectic brand. Score involvement's very good. Meters gained, very good. This guy is an absolute animal and real staple of the Collingwood side, and one that you forget when you play against them. But this guy is an honest performer, and what a phenomenal success story. 2019 draft, pick 14, to have that kind of output, I think is insane. And it's funny, 13 and 14 feature in this selection. And rounding it off, no surprise here, Jed Newcomb. Top 20 in the league already for centre clearances. 11 contested possessions, very good. 7.2 ground ball gets. 5 tackles, 19.7 pressure acts, 5.5 clearances. This guy is an animal. 39 games, one as a sub, one as an unused sub. He has been an absolute success story at pick 2. And North Melbourne will look at what if with this one. And that draft that year has got some really solid players that have played some decent games for their AFL clubs respectively. But what a little footballer this guy is, isn't he? Definitely the future of Hawthorn. People forget as well that Jed Newcomb, he kind of looks like he's 50, but he's only turning 22 at the end of the season. An absolute magnet of the ball and a real tough competitor. And just proof that sometimes you can find a hidden gem. Let me know your top 10 of the mid-season draft. We'll probably do a little mid-season draft rundown as well when that comes. Maybe a little sneaky preview because we are fans of the draft. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Enjoy the content here. And until next time, Trendz out.